Hey guys, welcome back to the Identity Crisis podcast. My name is Ranye and I'm so glad to have you guys back on the podcast. For those of you that are new here, it's the Identity Crisis podcast and we'd love to have you here and have you go on this journey with us. And we are continuing our exploration of self-discovery. We've talked about who we are at our core, the expectations placed on us, the contradictions we hold. Today we are diving into the many hats that we wear, the roles we play and how they shape and sometimes challenge, our sense of being. So today, before we dive in, let's have a little moment of just, it's been a very, very long weekend for me and the weekend has been long, lots of singing, a lot of praying. We had like this conference in church and all that. So my voice might be sounding quite choppy today, but we move, right? So how has your week started? I'm recording this. Today is Monday, and it's a new week. So I'm expecting that the week started good for you all. So let's dive into the podcast. So let's talk about the many hats that we wear and the pressure to wear them well. So we all juggle multiple roles, whether it's parent, spouse, friend, employee, student, artist, caregiver, and so many more. It could be anything, right? And each role comes with expectations, spoken or unspoken. And we are often told we should, we're often told how we should be in each of these roles, creating the pressure to perform and live up to those ideas. But think about it. The perfect parent, the ideal employee, the supportive friend, it can feel like a constant, performance, and that can be very exhausting. This pressure to perform, can lead to anxiety, self-doubt, and we start questioning whether we are good enough in these roles, tying our self-worth to our performances. Have you ever felt like you are constantly walking a tightrope, like trying to balance all these expectations without failing? See, you're not alone on this. We are plenty, like we always say on the podcast, we are plenty on this table, right? And which leads us to like conflicting roles and the tug of war within. So the challenge gets even more complex when our roles conflict. Because how do you balance being a dedicated parent and a driven professional? Um, how do you prioritize your own needs while also being a supportive caregiver? See, these internal tug of wars can leave us feeling fragmented and overwhelmed sometimes. See, I've experienced this myself, right? There was a time when I felt torn between being selfless in terms of handling my responsibilities and also putting myself first, like basically taking care of my own needs as well. Um, and I must say that uh, it felt like I was constantly disappointing someone, including myself, right? So navigating these conflicting roles requires tough choices, setting boundaries, and most importantly, giving ourselves grace. Now we must agree that some roles we choose ourselves, and there are some roles that are assigned to us, right? Um, we can choose roles like our careers, our hobbies, right? These often feel more aligned with our passions and values. But other roles are assigned to us by family, culture, or circumstances. So perhaps you are a caregiver for an aging parent, or maybe you've been given a leadership position you didn't necessarily seek, right? So the challenge lies in finding agency within these assigned roles. How do we make them our own, right? How do we find meaning and purpose even when the role wasn't our first choice, right? So it's about looking for opportunities, to express our authentic selves within the constraints of the role, right? It's also about recognizing when a role, whether chosen or assigned, right? When that role no longer serves us, we need to be able to recognize that. And sometimes letting go of a role, even a long held one, like in an act of self care or growth, sometimes we need to let go of certain roles. So, how do we balance our roles without losing ourselves in the process? See, it starts with remembering three key things, right? And could be more, but these things are key, right? One, you are more than what you do. Your worth isn't defined by your productivity or achievements in any single role. And number two, it's okay to evolve, right? Roles shift. And that doesn't mean you lose who you are. It means you are growing. And number three, check in with yourself. Ask yourself, am I playing this role out of obligation, fear, or genuine choice, right? If it's no longer serving you, it might be time to redefine it, adjust it or even let it go. So Colossians 3:23 reminds us to do everything with purpose, right? But our identity isn't just what we do. It's about who we are at our core. So let's reflect on our relationship with roles. Like we always do on the podcast, we always have something to reflect on, right? So let's consider these questions. One, what are the main roles you play right now? Number two would be, which roles feel most authentic, which feel forced or draining? So you want to be able to distinguish between the two of them. Number three would be, where do you experience conflict between roles, right? And how can you find more balance? That's number three. And number four for today would be, if you weren't tied to any specific role, how would you describe yourself, right? So this will make you think about, what are your core values and passions, right, that exist outside of these roles. And like I'll always say, you need to journal your thoughts on this, possibly discuss them with a friend, or you can even connect with us or connect with me on social media and tell your story. Remember, roles may change, but your essence still remains. So we're going to be wrapping up, at this point on today's episode. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. Thank you for coming back. And those of you that are new here, thank you for the episodes that you are going to join us in, and even the ones you are going to go back to listen to. Thank you very much for those episodes. Remember, you are more than the sum of your roles. Trust me. You are a complex, evolving individual with inherent worth, right? So embrace all the parts of yourself, and remember that you have agency to define who you are, regardless of the arts that you wear right now. Until we meet again in the next episode, I love you all. Thank you very much. It's the Identity Crisis Podcast.